What's good, YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to yet another reaction video. If you're new here for the first time, my name is TMR, and since you clicked on this video, you might as well subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please make sure you click the notification bell and make sure you give me a big thumbs up and also leave your comments down below. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back. TMR gang. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to yet another reaction video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video, and always make sure you click the notification bell so every time I put out a new video, you'll be the first to know it. So you guys, today we're going to be doing a reaction on Miss Olivia Lives Life. So you guys know that I have been a little preoccupied over there in Keisha K. Lee territory. So I decided to skedaddle over there to Liv's Life, because the last we talked to Liv, she was contemplating moving. So Olivia has put out a series of videos in the last few days, and one of the last videos that I recently watched is her saying goodbye to YouTube. So I'm like, goodbye to YouTube? Sis, where you going? Well, anyways, y'all, let me tell you where she's going. So Olivia's going back to Florida. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So we're gonna talk about Olivia, and we're gonna discuss a little bit of what she said in that video. And we're gonna start with the separation of her and Gerard. So Olivia says in the video that she can't remain in Texas anymore, that she can't stay there. She stated that if she stays, she will die. So she says that she can't even talk to Gerard. She said Gerard has cut himself off from them, and she doesn't even know who Gerard is anymore. So let me say this. The reason why Olivia can't talk to Gerard is because Gerard doesn't want to talk to Olivia. Olivia says in that video that Gerard is very selfish. And maybe he is. But Olivia, you're just as selfish as he is. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you took those children away from their dad initially when you first was in Texas and moved clear across the country to Florida. And when you went to Florida, you started a life for those children, right? You tried to start a new life for the children. You talked about how it would be a great place to raise your children. The schools are good, living by the beach, yada, yada, yada. And then you went through a series of erratic videos because once you got to Florida, since you got bored, right? You're used to being up under Gerard, because you have been up under Gerard 7-8 years. And so you started doing a lot of videos to show Gerard, a lot of acting out to show Gerard that you needed him. Although you tried to make like he needed to be there for the children, but it was more so that he needed to be there for her. Obviously for the children too, but definitely for her. So once she finally convinced Gerard to come to Florida, they end up getting married. And they got married on false pretenses. Because what I have discovered by watching Olivia the last few months and what her and Gerard have been going through, Gerard has not turned his back on his children. But unfortunately, sissy, he definitely has turned his back on you. What you may not be realizing is I believe Gerard is growing up. And for you, it's unfortunate that he's growing up without you. Y'all, that happens. It happens in relationships. Sometimes you grow up and grow out of people. And I definitely feel like that's the situation for Olivia and Gerard. Now, Olivia went about the whole situation wrong. We do understand that she made a poor error in judgment for chasing Gerard. When Gerard left you deserted there in Florida, sis, that should have been the end of it all. You have spent a ridiculous amount of money chasing a man that does not want to be chased. You went to Texas against your better judgment Because although Olivia states that she didn't know Gerard was with somebody, sis, you knew something. You've been knowing this man too long to not know his mannerisms. Sis, you knew something. But again, Olivia felt like all the times prior, how she was able to win Gerard back, sis thought she was going to be able to do that again. And obviously this time, she was not. Olivia states in her video that, she should have never started the relationship with Brandon. Although she fell in love with Brandon, she never should have started a relationship with a man when she was currently in a situation. And I'm going to say this. I don't think Olivia in love with Brandon. I think she liked Brandon. She definitely loved the attention from Brandon, because we do understand Olivia needs attention. She's an attention seeker. But being in love with Brandon, no, you wasn't. Because since there's no way that you can be in love with Brandon when you haven't even fell out of love with Gerard. Y'all, Olivia is leaving Texas and still is in love with Gerard. But what Olivia has to understand is this too shall pass. If it was meant to be, or if it's meant to be for her and Gerard, they may find a way back to each other. But if it's not meant to be, sis, you're not going to find your way back to him, and he's not going to find his way back to you. What Olivia needs to focus on now, that every person who has watched her channel and called themselves even trying to support her or give her some constructive criticism, Olivia has to start realizing she is important. So stop trying to find love in these men and find love in your damn self. My God, how hard is that to understand? Especially you being a woman raising 2 young girls. Now, Olivia has, yet again, she has to go pack up her whole house. She was complaining about having to pack up her whole house, having to drive all the way back to Florida by herself. Well, since you drove to Texas by yourself, since you should have known that if you were going to go back to Florida, it was definitely going to be by yourself. Because Gerard's not going anywhere. He's happy where he's at. And I know that's hard for her to digest that, but sis, it's the reality. And sometimes reality, when it sets in, it doesn't feel very good, but reality has definitely set in for Olivia. Now, Olivia has stated in her video that, Gerard is very selfish. And, I'm going to tell you like this. It probably could have been a probability of her and Gerard reconciling, but Olivia came to Texas on the wrong ish. Since you came to Texas being very childish and not ladylike, you did numerous counts of lies where you talked about Gerard like a damn dog, all because you was mad and you was hurt. So sis, did you really think that was going to be the way to get Gerard back when you sitting up here calling this man all out his name? He's a horrible person. He's a horrible father. He's gay. He's this. He's that. Sis, you done so much. But in public, Gerard has never disrespected you on the public platform. Even on his Instagram, he's not disrespecting you. Although Gerard doesn't want to be with you, but I think he realizes that he knows that you are the mother of his children, but publicly, he's not trying to embarrass you. Olivia, you did everything you could to try to break that man down, and that was never going to be the way to get him back. Now, granted, Gerard has just hurt you. Yes, he's hurt you something terrible, but at the end of the day, Olivia, you knew exactly who Gerard was. Gerard has showed you many times who he was. You're the one that didn't want to believe it. So now reality has set in for sis. Sis got to pack that house up. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think she's really unpacked. Based off what I've seen, sis may have took a few things out the boxes. But to be honest with you, I would have never fully unpacked my house when I think a little bit Olivia knew that she really wasn't going to stay in Texas. I believe Olivia went to Texas on the pretense that she might get Gerard back, but I'm pretty sure that Olivia felt like it was a 50-50 chance that Gerard wasn't going to get back with her. Now, to be honest with you, after all this has went on, I don't even think I would want to reconcile with Gerard, because too much has been done, too much has been said, and too much has been seen between you two. Now, Gerard definitely is going to be a father to his children. Olivia states that, Gerard wants to use the children. I mean, to be honest with you, both of you guys are using those children. Like I told you guys in a previous video, they are using these children as collateral damage. And that's not fair to those kids. She stated that the oldest daughter bust out crying, that she just really loves her family. And Olivia needs to stop, because she is putting bad seeds in those children's head. You are making those children believe that every time they are facing a problem and there are some obstacles in their life, you are showing these children the way to deal with that is to run. And that's never the way to deal with problems. A lot of times, you guys, you have to face problems head on. And again, you guys, I can tell you only from my own experience. I used to be a runner too. Every time I would get mad, I would run. But guess what, y'all? Eventually, I had nowhere else to run to. And then I had to stand up and face my problems head on. The hardest thing that I could do, but I learned how to do it. And I don't run anymore. And Olivia will soon see. Hopefully, this has showed Olivia, stop running. Handle your business as a grown woman should. If Olivia doesn't learn anything else, you can't find love in a man when you don't even have love for your own damn self. Now, Olivia claims she just loves herself, but sis, if you do, then again, like we talked about with Keisha Anderson, sis, love yourself before you can love anybody else. Now, Olivia also stated in the video that, she's thinking about stop vlogging. She said when she started this channel, she wanted to film the happy moments of her family, okay? Well, Olivia, maybe that was your initial decision about vlogging happy times in your family. But after you started gaining these subscribers based off all the drama that you was putting out there, sis, you got hooked. It was like a drug. You got strung out on all the drama, and you used everything that was going on in your life as content. And little do you not believe this, it destroyed you and Gerard's relationship. Your erratic behavior of always wanting to get a bunch of views on the problematic things that are going on in your life destroyed your relationship with your husband and your family. Yeah, you don't want to believe that, but that exactly is what happened. So now Olivia is stating that, she's thinking about giving up YouTube. But girl, you're not giving up YouTube, Olivia. You're definitely not going to do that. You're not going to do that. But okay, you said it in the video. Maybe that has crossed your mind. But Olivia, it's too easy for you to make the money that you're making now. You're going to have to work too hard on anything outside of the home. But I will say this. I do think it's a good idea that Olivia finds some type of part-time job outside of the home. That way you can, especially when she gets back to Florida, that way you can experience new things, meet new people. And sitting up in that house 24/7, 7 days a week, will stop you from making up content and just making up these fantasies videos about stuff that's going on that's really not going on. If Olivia would just get out the house this time in Florida and experience Florida as the beautiful state that it is, and experience Tampa as the beautiful city that it is, you can, more than likely, Olivia will start seeing some change in her content. Yes, I highly suggest that she gets out and get a part-time job, but more than likely she doesn't, because Olivia just strikes me as being very lazy. I mean, my goodness, she won't even put the effort into her eyelash business. If she would do that, if you would spend less time trying to figure out how you can trick Gerard back and figure out more time into putting into your businesses, which is your YouTube channel, your eyelash business, or whatever ventures, the other ventures that you have in your life, you will find yourself thinking less about Gerard and more about making yourself a boss lady and being your own business owner. I'm going to say this again in closing, you guys. I really hope that her mom and her sister are a bigger influence on her this time. I hope that her mother puts her foot down. Although Olivia is grown, but it's obviously she's a misguided missile. And I hope Stella has enough sense the next time Olivia try to make an erratic decision. Hopefully this woman has enough sense this time to snatch Olivia up and slap her around a couple times and say, girl, you're not going anywhere. And if you do decide to go somewhere, leave them kids here and take gas on wherever you want to go. I'm just going to keep it 100 because this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. All this moving around and bouncing all around with these kids following up behind you is just very irresponsible. And if you love your children, give your children some stability in their life. It's hard for kids, especially now with Corona. The kids are already cut off as it is. I was just reading, you guys, earlier today. I was reading there's a city in Arizona. I can't remember the city. They were displaying statistics about the S rate in their high schools and how many S's. You guys, I have to be careful of the type of words I use on YouTube that have happened in such a short period of time because of COVID, because of what teenagers and children and even adults are experiencing with this whole COVID isolation thing. Like, it's really affecting a lot of people's mental health. So the kids are already, secluded as it is because of COVID, and then you're putting them in further seclusion because you won't let these children thrive. Stop. As mothers, y'all, we always want to make the best for our children, but sometimes you guys, we have to think about the children before we can think about ourselves. That's what happens when you sign up to be a parent, period. So at this point, you guys, I pray when Olivia go pick up this U-Haul truck and put all her ish up in there, when she pulls out of the state line of Texas, I pray she leaves everything that was in Texas right at that state line. Once she crosses over that state line, leave all that behind. That's Gerard. That's Brandon. Her friendship with Misha. Leave all that in Texas. And since when you get to Florida, do the right thing. Get your mind right. Get your body right. And start being a woman and raising your children and giving them the best life that you can afford to give them. And stop worrying about a man up in your face. Because sis, I trust and believe because right now, Olivia don't even need a man. What can she do with a man? She's so broken. Look how she did Brandon, y'all. She up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, it was ridiculous to watch. So at this point, I'm hoping she finds peace in herself when she gets back to Florida. Prayerfully, you guys, I pray to God we don't see all these erratic behavior videos about her missing Gerard and all this, or missing Brandon. Olivia, sis, worry about yourself and stop worry about you and your children. That's what's most important to you right now, because as you see, these men will keep failing you. But you can't give up on yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and definitely leave your comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, sub what you love. Bye-bye.